Hey everyone on Facebook. I've got you now. Facebook, Instagram. I think I'm going to have my assistant April confirm that for me because something looks a little bit goofy over here on Instagram and it's definitely not my first language. But I'm looking forward to connecting with you for another Q&A sesh today. So hop on in, one and all. If you're on the replay, go ahead and comment. Let me know that you caught us on the replay. I would love to hear from you. And you are very welcome to submit your comments as well of questions that you'd like me to address either in future or in the comment section. So if you weren't able to join us and something comes to mind and you'd like me to give you some feedback or what have you, please don't hold back. Don't hesitate. We'll either work it in here or I'll let you know that we have to circle back to it in another week. Hello. Hey, Linda. Good, good, good. So you guys are seeing me. It's Instagram I'm not sure about. So I need my team, whoever's on my team. I think I've got a couple people from my team on today that can pop over and triple check that I did it right on Instagram, please. Thank you. I'm outside. I couldn't help it, you guys. So I'm going to apologize in advance for noise. There is some kind of decent busy activity on the main road close by, but it's like 80 degrees. And in my house, it's about 40. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I really just can't help myself. It feels incredible out here. And it's January 15th. I know a lot of the country is under a lot of snow. I am not clear on how one lives like that. But right here in San Diego, North County, San Diego, it's so warm and lovely, and I have to be in it as much as I possibly can or I'll go cuckoo, cachoo, crazy. Would y'all like to meet the little lovely Louisa Clark? She just showed up here. Hold on. Come here, sweet pea. Okay. She's very dirty. Here you go. She's very dirty. This is newest family member. Okay, let me see if I can do it, April, on Instagram correctly. I don't know what I did wrong. I put a title in. I told it to go. It doesn't like me. I don't know what to do. Help me. Help me, April. Help me. So we call this little ragamuffin Wheezy more than anything. I do anyway. I call her Wheezy. She snores, guys. How funny is it that I would get... Stop licking me. I hate licks. I would get a Glen of them all that snores. They don't normally, but with my bulldog loving background, I seem to have attracted the one that does. So I call her Wheezy or I call her Clark. If you really want to know background origin of a name, you just have to see or remember Me Before You. Have you seen that movie, guys? She's literally named after Louisa Clark from that movie. So we have little stripy bee themed things for her. Look at these paws, guys. Like a teddy bear. She is 10 and a half weeks now. And yep, total teddy bear. Of course I'm in a dress because only I with dirty puppies would do that. April, I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm just trying to try to tell you guys at the same time as I'm problem solving this, that puppy's 10 and a half weeks and she's just practically perfect in every way. She's scared of big dogs. She didn't have a lot of big dog exposure, so that's been something that we're working on intentionally and sharing the process of in the Raising a Rockstar groups. That's the online classroom, guys. If you're not in there, get your booty in there. It's $27 a month. And you're going to see all about how I strategize and problem solve puppy stuff, raising a dog to be their breed standard, right? What I consider to be a rock star is a dog that's a good breed ambassador. So we want to see that drive outlet be, you know, healthy and balanced and activated. And we want to see their sociability of what it generally represents. Hey guys, that would be really helpful if you'd quit right now. The cat and the dog are. We want to see, you know, what defensive qualities a dog is supposed to have coming forward in a balanced way. We want to see what friendly, you know, qualities a dog is supposed to have based on their breed standard come forward in the appropriate way. So Raising a Rockstar is available to you as a monthly subscription group, and you get to see tons of content of that fluffy little thing. And more puppies, because we got a Frenchie puppy, we got a Glen puppy, we got puppies that come and board and train all the time. It's very fun. I'm having a lot of fun starting to curate more and more of the foundational content. There are video tutorials in there. There's writing, unit, structured units in there with things that you can read through that give you kind of outlines of like a schedule for potty training or problem solving around potty training stuff. So very, very cool. Bear with me here now as I turn my attention back to Instagram. I don't know why this is Fix It Friday. I don't know why this didn't work, and I'm gonna literally give up if it happens again like this. Add title. Are we making any progress here whatsoever? Thank you for dropping that link, April. I don't see that I'm making any progress here on Instagram. You might have to apologize to Instagram for me, April. Sorry, just go reroute them to Facebook, because why not? Otherwise I'm going to be wasting too much time here. Hey, Leroy Young, Penny Neely's here, Allie Dibble's here, Joanne, Cindy, Nancy. You guys are awesome. Carmen, Wendy Brogdon, mwah, love you all the way from Oz. Thank you so much. It's good to connect with you guys. Today I announced in the Leaders Lounge, if you are old school OG Cam Thompson and Home to Canine, you will remember the Leaders Lounge as being the place to be for your unleashing of your dog's best, right? And your unleashing of your best, ultimately. We started that quite a few years back, and it is going to close on Monday. So it's interesting going through this process, you guys. As you can see, I'm starting with announcements. It's been very interesting going through this process, you guys, because it's like an old friend, right? It has so much symbolism and meaning. It represented such an incredible place and opportunity for so many of us. I built an amazing community with all of your collaboration and that effort back at the time, and something that really gave me contrast in my life, that my work, the thing that I love doing, that I was passionate about doing to help other people, could build the very thing, community and stability, that I had lacked growing up, was really a transformative experience to be a part of. And, fast forward several years now, the theme of what programs we offer, what content we create, and I say we because it takes my whole team for me to be able to be sitting here with you right now, let alone, creating the next level of something that we offer. And, everything that we have put together has only continued to expand that community, even in a time of things shutting down and going through, social distancing and shelter in place orders and all that jazz. We only continue to see this happen for our network and our business and our foundation ability, work that we have the ability to provide through the foundation. Which means we have even greater level of accountability for being focused on what aligns. And much as I am so attached to that old friend, that foundational mechanism of the Leaders Lounge, the place we gathered to share the summit content and interviews from our experts, and to promote sharing around folks that were taking action to resolve their dog's behavior issues or to improve their business experience. It really is something that has just run its course. Nobody's doing anything in there, least of all me, the leader. It's not the place that aligns with who I am now and what I'm up to now. And so we're going to close that down on Monday. And I just posted today to let folks know, and it's been really sweet how many messages I've received on the back end. I've heard from so many people just talking about, what value they took from it, how special it was to be a part of those early stages of that community growth, and what it has meant for us to intersect over time. And so just want to acknowledge that here with gratitude. If you've missed it, I did post in the lounge this morning. It'll be closed on Monday. So if you want to get in there and share a little bit and express a bit of gratitude, or your memories of content that you've enjoyed or that helped you and shaped you or made a difference in encouraging and inspiring you, man, I would love to see it. I would really appreciate it. So feel free to do that. Hey, Jesu, good to see you. Any hoodle, that's happening because we're moving on to bigger, better things, and our our offerings through the virtual side of our world as a foundation have become really focused, as have my coaching. So the coaching programs that I used to offer included pet owners and consulting on dog behavior. Virtually I don't do that anymore. I only do it in that really incredibly inexpensive, by the way, monthly subscription group. My only virtual work now is in business coaching and helping other dog biz professionals grow and rehab and create sustainable businesses, because then they can help a whole lot more people. It's a really, really important line of work that we're in. It's pretty special to be consulting with those of you that are going through grief or are going through trauma or are going through, stepping out on your own for the first time, maybe in your life, in your world. Maybe you're going through, a situation where you've got a lot of anger and you need to work through some healing around that. Believe it or not, this is the work that we do as dog trainers and behaviorists if we really understand the deep connection between dog behavior and their humans. And we honor and have integrity around what it takes to actually maintain good dog behavior. We got to help people maintain their health and their optimal well-being. So for so many folks that we work with, it is a significant path and process and journey of being with you in community for the long haul. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping more dog business professionals, because the ripple effect then can be much, much greater than if I'm just helping one person at a time. So reach out to me if you've got questions as a dog biz pro. I've been doing this for a while and I've made all the mistakes. And I'd love to share them with you to stop you from struggling unnecessarily and be there to cheerlead you. When I posted this morning, I was sharing with people, it is very truly my personal zone of brilliance to be a living bullshit meter. So, don't reach out to me if you're not prepared for me to call you on your nonsense and to help you see where you may be lying to yourself in your limitations, in the things that, are holding you back or stopping you from achieving the goals that you desire. It's just a matter of human behavior, folks, that we so often get into really bad habits of, I can't make that much because I don't have as much time as him, or I can't, offer those programs because I don't live in a place like her. I can't, charge this much because I don't have as much experience as them. It really is a bunch of bullshit. So my clients who've worked with me will validate very easily that is in fact the experience of working with me. And so it's important to me that I don't dupe anyone into reaching out if they're not prepared to hear it straight as to how I see your opportunities for busting through those barriers and actually telling yourself the truth, and in turn being able to make a bigger difference and achieve the things that you desire. Back to Q&A and the topic for today. I wanted to talk to you guys about why we do e-collar in immersive programs only. And this is a question that we've had. Thank you, Jessica. This is, Jessica and I definitely have walked that path together, haven't we? Just looking at layers of patterning and behavior and what's behind who you are right now. And then you imbue that into your dog and what behavior you get back from them, and this, that everybody's going through all the time. So talking about remote collar training and immersion programs only. Now, there are other businesses, other dog biz professionals who like to teach e-collar one-on-one with a client, or who do it in group class. I don't. Our organization currently doesn't have a trainer on the team. We kind of have like a franchise, right? We don't currently have a trainer that does. And there's a very strong reason for that. I do not teach remote collar in a one-on-one or a group setting context. I only do it in an immersion program where I, as the professional with that tool, pattern the tool with your dog, whether that's only in the initial introductory patterning part of like 1 week in a hybrid program, or it's 2, 3, 4 weeks of a complete board and train. However it's set up, whichever pocket you land in based on your dog and you, we only do it in an immersion program because there is such an art and a nuance to introducing that tool correctly and to getting your levels appropriately aligned with your dog's cognitive ability, maturity, emotional state, stress, pressure sensitivity. All of these different things start to come up, and every single solitary dog I've ever worked with around e-collar is different. Now they follow a similar pattern, which is where you will see tutorials like from Sean O'Shea. He's created DVD training series. So is Larry Crone, some of these other people, Jeff Gelman. There is information out there for you if you want to DIY. Please go check out my colleagues' content because there's tons. All you need to do is open up YouTube, remote collar training, remote collar conditioning, safe and effective, humane remote collar conditioning, and you will find your DIY. Here's what happens though, and this is going to circle back to my prior comment about your stuff coming into play in trying to help your dog's behavior to change. When you go to do the e-collar, one of the number one things that happens, and this was exactly the case with this question that was submitted, when you go to do that DIY situation yourself, you get nervous. You feel anxious to ruin your dog. You get scared that you'll do it incorrectly, that you'll create more of a problem, that they'll be afraid of it, that the level won't be accurate. The bigger issue with that DIY scenario around remote collar training, I think, is the handler's lack of confidence, even in making mistakes. Because truthfully, that's what we trainers are doing. It's trial and error. It is a system that we have, right, to introduce it, to explore what's the lowest level this dog is feeling. We have experience watching many, many, many dogs, so we can interpret behavior and little cues and details that the dog can show us about their perception. But then it's this constant fluid process of adjusting where we might have gotten it wrong and we're too high or too low. It's a constant process of adjusting and flexing to what the dog is showing us about their comprehension of what we're asking for, how quickly they move through that mastery of basic understanding of pressure and timing of the feedback that we're going to share or the body movements that we're asking for, how much to push versus how little is going to be fluid, and it must be flexible to the dog in front of you. And there's no one size fits all. There is an overall formula and approach and an overall goal that you're aiming for. No one size fits all. So very, very important that as a professional, with the confidence of seeing numerous dogs reading lots of behavior, working with the tool many, many, many times, we can stay massively calm and assertive about what it is that we're after and what it is that we're seeing in the dog. That is not the case for most of you as owners, right? There are people who do very well in a DIY sense, researching online, slowly, systematically working their way through. Their dog is going to be a factor for that. If their dog isn't majorly heavy or difficult or, stressy or insecure or flighty or cognitively compromised, you might have a dog that fits within that scenario where a little bit of introduction to the tool, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of, hey, I can still affect you even without the leash, that could be enough for you. And that's awesome. That is what that content is out there designed to do. I also have a series of videos on YouTube that we professionally produced that demonstrate how to intro the remote collar around all our foundational commands, okay? But if you are nervous, if you are unsure, if you feel anxious, if you're afraid to get it wrong, you're already making a mistake. And that is a huge reason why we don't offer e-collar training in the one-to-one context, because the amount of effort that it takes to get you over the crest of that discomfort or insecurity, the potential for mistakes to be made immediately out of the starting gate between you and your dog and the communication you're trying to shift and improve, not make worse or more complicated and convoluted, is super, super, super exhausting for me. So when we get asked about, wanting us having a trainer to come to your home or just a couple of sessions to explain the tool, my challenge to you is if that were something that were so successful and, really worked to resolve big behavior issues or to set you up for long-term success, or that you were going to be consistent at what you need to do in order to affect certain areas of your dog's behavior that you might not be expecting or connecting are related to one another, then you would be successful doing that on your own simply by following DIY content online and then rolling with it with your dog, okay? And again, there are those of you that can do it. You know, back in the day, I did a lot of that myself in terms of learning the tool or applying it with my own dogs, and cutting my teeth, so to speak, in the professional sense, was a lot of doing and figuring it out in the beginning. There are definitely those that can navigate that way. But when you're coming to me and saying that you have a reactive dog, an aggressive dog, a highly anxious dog, a fearful dog, you've got your COVID puppies, right, that have been unexposed, under-socialized, they have anxiety, they have all these different things going on. I'm not going to add to that layer cake you trying to learn while you try to teach your dog. It's just, it goes against my ethics of what makes sense to me as fair to the animal. It goes against what makes sense to me as a good use of your money, right? And a good use of my time. And so I really want to honestly say this, not from a place of turning people off of one-on-one sessions or, you know, sound. Can I get you back? Let me give it a second, make sure we're connected. I was saying that all of that is to say that it is really about making sure that it's a right, effective use of your investment and your time and my time, and that it's fair for your dog. And part of that is because the bar for the outcome that I want you to experience is probably higher than where you set it. When we set it for you and tell you what is possible for your dog, the bar is probably higher. You often will say, you know, I just want him to stop barking. Hey, quit chasing the cat while I'm on live. You know, I just want my dog to stop barking, or I just need my dog to be okay left at home. I see your question. I promise I'll come back to it. And realistically, why is the dog doing it? First and foremost is to be asked. And then how do we resolve that is not always just correct that behavior only, okay? Question here, isn't the owner's confidence still an issue even if the dog was conditioned to it and board and trained? Just trying to get understanding. It absolutely can be if you're not following directions and being coachable. So if the dog was trained and the trainer trains the owner, if the owner lacks confidence, that's a different set of tools they need to engage in their own personal work in order to bridge the gap between, you know, representing credible, believable, calm, assertive leadership and, you know, not representing that, right? You can't simply utilize the tool and not change the dynamic of the relationship. But that should come as a part of an appropriate coaching program when you work with the right trainer. Your confidence may still be an issue for you. You may still be an anxious person. You may still be an insecure person. You may still be an emotional or soft person. These are a lot of times the things that consistently show up in dogs with behavior issues. It's because they are in an environment with relationships that lack calm, assertive, credible leadership, right? A person who is like, that's not okay with me, boundary here, and I'm not backing down on it. Whether personally, professionally, and just with their pets, it's usually multiple areas of their life reflect this that for the human, okay? So if the owner's confidence is still down, sometimes it's about fake it till you make it. Truly, sometimes we'll have to tell a client, listen, I know you're really uncomfortable about, you know, whether or not you can trust your dog to not react on leash again. I know you have had a bad experience and you have patterning of trauma that says your dog could drag you down the street again like they did that one time. That isn't a valid reason not to get back on the horse, if you will, and create the opportunity for your dog to prove you wrong, that they're capable of more, because then you're also setting yourself up to have the experience of proving yourself wrong, that you're capable of more. If you're in avoidance, if you are fearful to a point of inaction, you're holding yourself back. You're not just holding your dog back. And when you hold yourself back, you hold other people back. Because your bar is low, you will make concessions and exceptions for how other people treat you and operate in your sphere. You will not be honest and authentic about what you need, what you demand of other people around your boundaries and what's self-respecting for you. Right? You see what I mean? If you're doing that for yourself, if you're going, it's just too scary, I can't do it. It's just, I don't feel confident that, you know, I'm going to be able to uphold this result because I'm not the trainer and I just know my dog isn't going to listen to me the same way. Guess what you're creating in that situation with that language? You're creating the outcome you don't want. You are focusing on that, and that is what you will grow. That is what you will invest in every day. You will be putting your little coin in the bank of can't, in the bank of don't want, in the bank of it's not possible for me, right? So this is a really great question, and it's a normal question to ask, by the way. It's a very normal thing to be concerned about. 99.9% of dog owners who are at a point of pain and pressure to need to get professional help are in resistance still. 99.9% of them are still in resistance, that they don't want to have to do that. The money is painful. And you know why? Because it's a consequence that's designed to help you learn, right? Or the time away from their pet is painful, but that's a consequence that's designed to help you learn. And it's feedback about your own internal stuff that needs your board and train attention while your dog is away at school. It's feedback for you about your own codependence potentially, or enablement, your own insecurity of not wanting to be alone without your pet, that gives you crazy immediate information about where you have the opportunity to grow and do that deeper work to clear that nonsense so that it does not stand in the way of you having the most dynamic relationships possible in your life, dog or otherwise. Cool? So in the context of, remote color training and why we only do immersion programs, you have that whole piece of not putting a dog in a situation where they're getting mixed messages from an owner with whom they already have relationship associations, by the way, right? So it's like, I already know who you are, mom or dad. I've already seen you give up, cave in, cut corners, take shortcuts, be avoidant, ignore me, right? I've already seen you try a prong collar, a flexi lead, a halty, a harness, cookies, dehydrated meat, kibble. I've seen you do all these things. You don't know what you're doing. So the first response of the dog when you introduce a new tool, you don't know what you're doing, mom. You don't know what you're doing, dad. I don't have to do this, right? Or what is it that you really want from me? Because yet again, you're creating a new conversation that's confusing because it conflicts this other one over here. So, we're dealing with these massive challenges right up front to try to get, sorry, the comments just did a refresh because the pin went away. We're dealing with a lot of these challenges right up front that make it slower and less effective, and then you don't get the same precision result or that bar that I mentioned, that it can be so much higher than what you can see for yourself when you're in it with your dog and you've been battling through those issues, or just frustrated, exhausted because you're not making the progress on your own and you think, well, my dog might be dumb, or my dog's just too broken, it's a secondhand dog, it's nervous, it's insecure, it's fearful, it's been traumatized. I hear it all, right? I hear it all. When we remove the story, when we show up as the trainer who's not afraid to make the mistakes because we know what kind of information it will give us and we'll be able to adjust and flex for your dog, then we can push that dog to its highest potential and create contrast for you. We can now show you, this is actually what your dog's capable of. And you go, holy crap, that's amazing. Now you're motivated to want to maintain it. And guess what that does for confidence? To speak to that prior question, your confidence goes up. So I wonder if that question is coming from somebody who's never done it, who's never had a professional help you and work with your dog and actually give you that contrast, or if it's a legitimate question as a client of somebody who did provide a board and train and you're still struggling. Because let's just go there and look at that, right? Are you afraid to take the step to hand your dog over, or have you done it and been let down? Because ladies and gentlemen, we all make bad investment decisions sometimes. And not all trainers are created equal, right? Not all trainers are created equal. Not all chiropractors are created equal. Not all bakeries are created equal. You've seen the nailed it, posts on Pinterest where somebody ordered something, birthday cake, and it's supposed to say, "Happy birthday, Jessica," and it comes back, instead of with a bunch of, farm animals on it, it comes back, "Happy birthday, Jeff," and it's got something nasty, Guys, they're not all created equal. So did you make a bad investment decision and you burned yourself because it was a shortcut, it was cheaper? This happens all the time, right? We get contacts all the time. I've trained with another trainer. I put my dog through a board and train. You know, it was fast, it was easy, it was cheap, or it was 3 months and they didn't communicate with me until my dog was coming home. I know Wendy's been through this. Wendy Brogdon was on here. Fast forward several years, she's now a professional trainer. But back in the day, she went through an experience, hope you don't mind me mentioning Wendy, of signing her dog up for training. And it just was this endless process, on and on and on. My dog's still there. I'm not getting the information I need. Your trainer should be able to work with you and coach you through what it is that's holding you back and in turn holding your dog back. It should be a diagnostic process of you and your dog. It should be a process of helping get the communication cleaned up between you so that you understand objectively, emotionally objectively, why is my dog doing that? What is the motivation behind that behavior? Or what might be the motivation behind that behavior? Because sometimes we don't get all the answers, and that's okay, right? But what do I need to do in order to communicate clearly for my dog that those things are nope and these things are yes? And then how do I show up to that conversation energetically healthy and stable and not full of bullshit stories or emotional baggage that I'm putting on my dog that's making it difficult for them to take me seriously, to trust and respect me, and to ditch their old patterning and habits that are not serving them and certainly not serving me, right? Yeah, 5.5 months and you couldn't see your dog. I remember that was just crazy. Your story around that experience. Crazy. So much time and you still weren't getting the you support that you needed in that process, were you? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get my answer on that question, the motivation of that question, if it was coming from an experience of having hired and not gotten the depth of support and you work that you needed, or you know, if it is coming from a place of just apprehension about sending your dog to a professional immersion program. Again, this is not the only way to train. You guys are trainers all over the world who will do a one-on-one session with you, who will put you in a group class, who will take you on a pack walk, who will come to your home, who will have a facility for you, who will put your dog in a 6-month program, who will put your dog in a 3-week program. You really have an obligation, just like if it's a medical situation, to advocate for yourself and ask the questions and do the research. Don't just take the next recommendation from the Facebook group in your town where they were just complaining about trash getting dumped at the end of the country road and that the taco joint's going to be open on Saturday from 4 to 7 and we all should come down there and donate our pumpkins back to the pig people. I mean, you guys, that's not your place for ending your search and accepting the first referral or recommendation that comes to you. Read the reviews. Look at the website. There should be a representation of a body of work that you can see. Look at the other social media outlets, the channels, the YouTube channel for various trainers and see like what makes sense. Get still with it. If you're 90 miles an hour and you're rushing to this process, of course you're going to ping up against feelings like, I don't think I can give my dog up that long. Or my favorite, and by favorite I'm being sarcastic, which is my children won't allow the dog to be gone that long. Guys, seriously? Seriously? Your kids are making this choice? No. There's a red flag for you right there why you're not a credible leader to your dog. Because you're taking orders from your kids. Okay? That one makes me crazy. That one makes me crazy. Your kids do not get to decide. They are cognitively unable to understand in the big picture scheme of things what is that we're after. They're in their own board and train right now. Ideally, you're teaching them how to be a good citizen. Dogs going away to school to learn to be a good citizen. If you're taking orders from your kids and you're empowering them, disempowering them, to be so emotional instead of healthy and objective in stewardship of that animal, well, it's not going to work for you to work with us anyway. It's just not, because we can't coach you, right? We can't coach you in that situation and turn the mirror and go, hey, This is what you're communicating that you probably don't mean to, but it's really shooting you in the foot when you're trying to help your dog understand that that situation needs to be handled and responded to differently. Okay? Getting off on a tangent here, but I really wanted to share some time addressing this topic because we get this question a lot. It was submit again this last week. You know, we want e-collar training at our home in a one-on-one session. Guys, go online and watch all the YouTube videos. You don't even need to pay a trainer if you want that kind of potential result with your dog. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it to me to put a dog in a situation of getting mixed messages, having a tool not patterned correctly. The vast majority of you who are reaching out and asking that question are doing it because your dog has issues, like real issues. It's not just make it stop climbing the fence or digging holes in the backyard. There's a lot more to it 9.5 times out of 10. Okay, so the question is, I offer e-collar training one-on-one and wanted to understand your processes behind it. Makes sense that when the owners see the results and what their dog can do, their confidence increases. Yeah, and I really hope you heard me in saying that there are lots of different ways to do this. This is literally just about my personal stand, okay? Zero judgment for any other professional who chooses to be effective and offer these services and this methodology that gets their dog training clients ethically the result they need. No judgment. I think the problem comes when you're doing it because you believe it's the only way, right? This is my own personal belief. If you are a trainer, and this is why I coach trainers in the industry, if you are a trainer who believes I have to take what I can get, that's the only business out there for me. Or that's the easiest way for me to provide a program when my home or facility doesn't allow for board and train. That's not the place you should make that decision from. That's the only thing I'll say about it, right? It should not be something you do because of language like, I have to. This is the only option, right? If you are skilled at it, woman, my hat is off to you, and you need to drop your website in here, and you are welcome to let people know where you are and what you offer, because you're not competition with me. I don't believe we are in competition ever with each other in this industry, but you certainly are an asset for people to know about and refer to, because we don't offer those services, right? So truly just wanted to make sure you knew that wasn't a criticism of anybody who does it and does it well. We need everybody in this work. We do. We need everybody. I think the other reason for me that it's so problematical is because I want a really deep knowing of the dogs that I work with in order to adequately counsel the people I work with. So when I have that dog for an immersion program, that's what I get. That's what I get. And that's probably a really important, key aspect to acknowledge of why we do things the way we do them here, the H2K9 system, because you really get to understand the truth of that dog in front of you. Who are they? What motivates them? Are they actually confused? Are they actually cognitively limited? Or are they just so smart, right? They're just so smart, and they're so frustrated because they're not getting good information in a timely manner for how fast that brain works. When we get that intimate level of relationship built with the dog, and we can show the contrast of what they're capable of, and then in turn counsel that owner really effectively, that's my sweet spot. I really, really, really am a passionate believer that that's where I'm able to then enroll my client, my owner client, into, the vision of what's possible for themselves that they can't see on their own just yet. You know what I mean? Added board and train to your available services. Brilliant. That's brilliant. I'm glad to hear it. I hope you love it. And I hope you keep doing what works for you, because it takes all kinds. I really think there are lots of, people who have programs dialed, and that's the point of being in business for yourself, is that you get to find your zone of brilliance, and you get to create that sweet spot for how you deliver the result that is your magic to the clients that you serve. There's no one size fits all. This is just purely a nice, opportunity to talk about why we do what we do. And it's And it's largely to do with the type of dogs we get. We are very heavy behavior mod in rehab here. We get a lot of severe anxiety, fear-based behavior, severe fear-based behavior. We get a lot of reactivity and some aggression, human aggression, dog aggression. These are not small things. They require overhauling an owner too. And that's my favorite part of the work, really, is that human piece. So I think it's just the collaborative success that I found between one program versus another and being able to achieve that on the human end. Know what I'm saying? Any other questions today, guys, while you have me here, and I'm happy to tackle them, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're coming over from Instagram, I'm sorry I screwed it up. I don't like that I had an issue. And I really am sorry that I screwed that up. If that's an easier platform for you to hang out on, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to continue doing the twofer thing the way that we are. It's not my favorite. But I'll always be here on Facebook. Facebook's my peeps. So yes, feel free to shoot me over more questions, guys, as they come up. We always now have this opportunity on Fix It Friday to connect and dive in, whether it is, trainer, business, etc., or rescue, foster. Also, I invite you to cover those topics if they're applicable to you. This is an interesting time when it comes to the rescue world right now, because in the very beginning of the pandemic, adoptions went through the roof. Absolutely gangbusters. People looking to adopt a dog, having the very consistent narrative that I haven't had the time before, but now I'm working from home, so it's finally a good time. Unfortunately, what that's meant is a lot of secondhand dogs, landslide of secondhand dogs went into homes. They were still the same people with the same limitations of knowledge or resources or, planning and process. And it's now overflowed the industry, dog training industry, with a lot of challenges, a lot of challenging dogs, a lot of business, a lot of opportunity to help people who definitely stepped into wanting to provide a home and do something really wonderful with their new flexible schedules or being around more, but in turn are maybe struggling with separation anxiety, or we've got these under-socialized puppies that didn't go anywhere in the world and didn't meet enough people and all that jazz. And so it's a really, really fascinating time now that we're starting to see that slow, and we're getting a lot more shelter pull requests. We're getting a lot more rescue organizations kind of knocking on the door going, can you take dogs? Can you take dogs? Can you take dogs? And it's going to be, an adjustment as we are working through this onslaught of training needs. Question from Rick, is it ever too late to introduce e-collar specifically for constant barking? Nope, I don't think it is ever too late to help your dog improve. I've worked with dogs 12, 13 years, 14 years in board and train programs or introduced e-collar. You will be up against bad habits and patterning, right? And some of them make it harder to change, but it's never too late. Is it ever too late to introduce? I thought there was a second question there. April, did that get dumped? Or was it a duplicate? He had 2 comments. Sorry, it's gone. Number 1 recommendation to owners whose dogs are struggling with separation anxiety. Ooh, Lordy. Well, my number 1 recommendation is to go watch Togetherness Addiction video, my Togetherness Addiction video on YouTube. Because even though that's a little old, it is 100% my belief and thoughts on separation anxiety, and it's all there, okay? I call it Togetherness Addiction because I really believe it is like you're the drug for your dog. You're the one who is fueling and stoking that fire with inappropriate attention and a lack of healthy emotional distance and independence from your dog. Sometimes it's an issue of a brand new dog you brought into your home and they already had those tendencies. So if we're talking to an audience right now of people who've dealt with separation anxiety because the dog is a secondhand dog and you brought it home and it immediately had crate destruction behavior, trying to escape, soiling in the house or the crate, or eating your home. I get this comments all the time. The dog's eating the doorway, ripping up the rug, making a huge, terrible mess and ruining everything. It's possible that you inherited some of that stuff. You're still responsible for whether or not it gets squashed or it gets out of control even more so. All right. So my number one recommendation is going to be watch that video on YouTube. Just search Hope 2 Canine on YouTube, Hope 2 Canine Togetherness Addiction. April might have even dropped it in the comments for you. So yes, she did. Thanks, April. So that video right there, number one. Number two, if the dog is an escape artist, destructive, you know, self-harming, whatever, spend your money on an indestructible crate first. These crates are, oh, your second question was pertaining to introducing an e-collar for constant barking. Okay, sorry, Rick, maybe April can pin it for me as to the fault, because you asked if it was too late, ever too late to bring it into the mix. No, it's not. You just want to know how I would do it. So indestructible crate, to come back to that question. When we get an owner who, you know, is wanting board and train for separation anxiety, no matter how much we do in the board and train program, they will be required to have an inescapable crate after training. So why not start with that and begin that process at home and see what can be changed before they invest at such a high level on a training program that will result still in them needing to contain that dog adequately at home. Now, if you're totally unfamiliar with what it means to have an indestructible crate, we're talking about something like a gunner kennel, or, you know, a Roughland kennel maybe. Why can't I think of the metal ones, you guys? Help me out. There's another metal kennel crate that's totally inescapable. Help. They're very expensive. Anyway, they are designed for, you know, the dog not to be able to escape. And in separation anxiety, the dog needs to learn to be okay in their own skin and stay by themselves and not be able to be successful at escaping and self-harming. And so I deal with really severe cases of this over the years, and there is definitely, there are rather several keys that I line up in order to accomplish the results that we have, where we can have a dog go home and no longer be panicked and falling apart in the box and or hurting themselves and, you know, feeling that level of stress and toxicity in their systems and their nervous system so trashed. But the keys here are they cannot be successful at escaping. They have to be able to be contained in order to move through that fear and overwhelm and panic or resistance and get to the other side. Impact. Thank you, Carrie Ann. Impact crates are the other really popular, indestructible, inescapable, high anxiety crates. Okay. So I hope that answers that question. For you, Rick, pertaining to introducing e-collar for constant barking. So this is another one of those ones that you have to look big picture and reverse engineer the question. Why is the dog barking? Right? Why is the dog barking in the first place? It isn't just a matter of squashing barking. Barking can be something that's incredibly important and relevant to the dog doing its God-given gift of communication with you about being territorial, being, you know, excited, aroused, being defensive. There could be a lot of things in there that are genetically based. And there also can be a lot of things in there that are attitudinal, where the dog is entitled, it's a shitbag, it's bratty, it doesn't give a crap about you saying, no, thank you, I want these people here. Could be lots of things going on, right? So number one is, why is the dog doing it? And if the dog is 12 and it's been doing this incessantly for a while, there's generally two things going on. One, when it was younger, you didn't shut it down in a timely manner effectively for, you know, that early intervention success. Or number two, the dog is doing it from a place of not feeling good. And what I mean by not feeling well is not necessarily it doesn't like people being outside the door or walking down the street, but it's actually not calm in the gut. It's actually not a settled, calm, you know, happy, content animal because of a lack of health and nutrition and literal components from the inside out, or a lack of exercise outlet, fulfillment, drive outlet, so that it can just be at your home and go to sleep and chill out. And when you say, it's fine, I got it, he's like, all right, cool. I feel good anyway, so you can handle it, right? So my approach is gonna be, why is it happening? Which we have some diagnostic questions that we go through in order to determine that. How healthy is this dog is always something I want to know. Always, 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 you guys. You can't ethically start correcting and, you know, changing the game and the rules with your dog without being sure that you're approaching this in the big picture scheme of things and being fair to how that dog feels from the inside out. That is not about, do they like it? Do I make them feel positively about things? That's not what I'm talking about, because sometimes our dogs need to do shit they don't want to do, period, just like people. What I'm talking about is when our dog feels well, when our dog is healthy and as balanced as possible in getting outlets and exercise and, you know, its needs met for fulfillment, and it feels good, it's not stressy and anxious and crappy from the gut level, we just don't see the level of behavior that a lot of people are struggling with their pet dogs who are not good in those areas. So determining that and serving that dog in the big picture scheme of things becomes really important. For tiny dogs, it's almost like a bonker works better, to be honest with you. A bonker, a thin, light leash, drug around, because they don't need as much pressure typically. And if you can use a bonker and pitch it and interrupt that little, little rocket of noise when it's headed for the door for the umpteenth time in all its years, you're probably going to be successful once or twice with a good, well-timed correction at curbing that dog's thought processes around why it being worth it to do that behavior. It's very possible you will not have to go to such lengths as remote collar training. Prevention and being proactive. Do not allow the dog to be free with no leash on, running around, getting away from you when you can't correct it. Have it tow a leash, right? Have a bonker ready. Do not allow that dog to be free and running around and fire off at something at the window or the door and you're not prepared to correct it. You're just creating the problem. In the absence of that feedback and correction, you're giving the dog permission to keep doing it. Stop letting them practice the bad behavior and be proactive about containment, direction, and being prepared with consequences. But really, why is the dog doing it? Are you walking this dog on a daily basis? Is this dog a young dog, a large breed dog? Is it getting an outlet for territorial or defensive disposition, temperament, aspects of who this dog is? Does it need some strategic tug work to tire it out and then put him in the kennel? Let him chill. Maybe this dog is insecure and has issues around that stimulus and doesn't feel confident about how to handle it, and you need to do some counter conditioning. I don't know. Lots of hypotheticals here, right? But remote collar is certainly my first and best tool that I lean on professionally in almost every scenario, but it doesn't have to be the tool that we start with every dog. And really, this is your first and best tool. Your body, your brain. Use your brain. I was talking to a client today about, follow up on their board and train results, and they're not following the protocol. And it's an aggressive dog, and the dog went after the other dog in the home again because they weren't following the protocol. You guys and gals, I can't help you if your tools aren't in place and if you don't engage your brain. You must use your brain, okay? It's your responsibility to use your ability to respond, to think ahead of what your dog has shown you that they do. If we're talking about a senior dog with compulsive barking issues, you're not waiting for a trigger or a sign. They've already shown you they're going to do this behavior. They've patterned to show you they're going to do this behavior. Believe them and get ahead of it. Be ready and waiting. Be so excited that you're going to be there ready to pitch that bonker and surprise the shit out of that little dog or a big dog, that's a no-fly zone, that they have no reason to need to continue to persist with that behavior once you've said enough. And if they don't listen to you, life sucks for them. Use your brain, guys. It's not, a lot of this stuff around dog training is so not rocket science. What it is it's process reflective. It's reflective of your process and approach to your life. If you are a person who's going 90 million miles an hour all the time, and then you're shocked when you fall down and, skin your knee, or you get taken out by a virus, or, you lose a bunch of money because you weren't paying attention to where you needed to be conservative, it's a process issue. And the same thing happens with dog behavior. However you default in your process in your life to navigating your stress and pressure is going to be the fallout that you see in the behavior change and result that you're trying to achieve, okay? So If you've got behavior issues in your dog, rule number 1 is slow the F down. Slow down and listen. Learn to look and listen. Oh, every day at this time this happens and it drives me crazy, but that means every day at this time this happens and I can be 10 minutes early from it. I can be there ready and waiting. I can put a leash on my dog. I can have a correction tool ready for my dog. I can put my dog away and I can interrupt that process, and then I can start putting in place the tools to overhaul where that dog's motivation is not in the right place. Okay? Problem solving, guys. It's just a process issue, and so much of what you do when you get stuck or you're nervous or you're not sure how to handle something is rooted in how you're responding to the world. So everything you do to get a handle on this and improve how you approach these issues is going to improve and benefit the rest of your life. It has majorly reaching benefits. It's what I love about dog training and the catalyst of a dog. A dog driving you crazy, a dog freaking you out, a dog scaring the shit out of you and waking you up to where you need to step the F up in your life changes everything for you if you choose to let it. And you only become stronger and more powerful and more impactful and more valuable once you've had that awakening. It's pretty freaking cool. All right? Are we good for today? Did I miss anybody? I hope not. Hey, Amy. Hey, Liz. Rusty popped in. We had a lot of topic coming up today. Pretty cool about training. Well, if you've got anything else for me, guys, I'm here for you. Otherwise, it's been an hour somehow. So I will go ahead and skedaddle. Like I said, 80 degrees. Come on. Stunning. January 15th. I will take it. I will take it. And if you need some, come on over. We can socially distance on the deck. For those of you that didn't get to see my little girl, would you like to see my puppy? You're welcome, Rick. You're so welcome. I hope, I know you've been around, so you know how I am. You know that's not a dig on you at all. Come here. Come here, little girl. That's a girl. She's got a big ball. Okay, wait. Let me show you this, you guys. She's stinking cute. Wheezy, what you got? What you got? Come here. There we are. There we are. There we are. Hello, little thing. Hello. Been sharing a lot of this little girl. You like how I wore my slippers out here in my dress? Been sharing a lot of this little lady. Are you getting leaves out of your skirt? Yeah? Hi. Hi, sweet thing. Been sharing a lot of her and bringing you guys along on the raising journey with her in Raising a Rockstar. That's our paid group. $27 a month, tax deductible donation to the foundation to help us continue rescue services and community services this year. And I also have for you consistent content around a Frenchie who's just a few weeks older than her, and all the puppy training client dogs that come through, as well as some of our detection training dogs that will be forthcoming. So really incredible opportunity to get a firsthand account of how we tackle the raising process in order to get the dog we want and the dog that represents the breed standard. Is she not the cutest thing, you guys? Louisa Clark, Emerald Isle with Dalton. She's quite the little addition here. Enjoying her very, very much, you guys, and really fun to be able to have a subject after all these years and a platform, which social media allows us to share that virtual content and classroom. It's something that's going to offer a whole lot of foundational knowledge for folks that want to get it right with their pups and that want to understand where their struggles are with their older dogs. Because when you look back on what is necessary, what is valuable and essential in puppy raising, you can get a lot of insight about where your dog may have been let down, what the deficits may be in you know, the behavior that they're showing you at a later stage of life. And it gives you a little bit more empathy and understanding. It gives you a little bit more empowerment about how you tackle those things, right? So that is the goal and the intention of it, and it's been a really fun thing to build for you all. So if you want to jump in there, the link is in the comments for Raising a Rockstar, and I would love to have you. and you will see this little lady grow and grow. It is our hope that she will be a subject for the show ring and in some other competition contexts. So hoity-toity fun stuff, but also very much a pet dog, and a lot of opportunity to show you, you know, what is my process and approach, because I've raised several pups now and been really happy with the outcome. And there's just definitely some standard rules of thumb that go a long way in helping you enjoy the long-term outcome. So thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you. As always, great to see you. And I look forward to our chat next Friday as well. All right. Same space you have for dog trainer. Nope, it's different. It's just about this content. It's not for coaching or consulting dog trainers, but I do have trainers already in that group that are benefiting from seeing different ways that they can counsel and coach their clients, build programs, more, you know, comprehensive information that they've gained about how to, you know, structure their training content and help people, you know, who are coming to them for training advice. So you're certainly welcome to be in there and, you know, gain in that way. And I'm getting great feedback about that, but it is not coaching access to me in the business professional side. Okay. That's a different way to get access to me. It's called Raising a Rock Star. And there should be a link in the comments. April can pin it again for us or drop it back in. We'll make sure that you get that answered. You can go to our website right now. If you go to the website, hope2canine.com, under the events tab, you'll actually find right there on that page, when you scroll down, you'll find a link to go and sign up for it. So you can do that through the website too, and then it'll bump you to be joined to the Facebook group, okay? But that one specifically goes to support the nonprofit work, and it's just a place that I get to dump lots of information and videos and units and things over the course of the entire year. It'll continue to come at you so you can watch these dogs grow up, okay? Awesome, guys. Thanks again. I'm going to run for now and enjoy the rest of my weekend. I hope you will too. And I'll talk to you again really soon, okay? Say bye. Oh, it's so sunshiny and nice. Bye, guys.